Hello dear friends, peace and blessings be on you. We have discussed adoption of kids in the last video. A few points required further elaboration, and one or two were missed for shortage of time. I'll try to cover them quickly in this video. So first of all, let me remind you that unfortunately it has become a very common understanding among Muslims that adoption of kids is not allowed in Islam. Our ulama have spread this thought and deprived Muslim from this most benevolent act of humanity and to humanity. At the same time, they never tire of telling us that Hazrat Zayd bin Haritha was the adopted child of the exalted Prophet. Why can't we follow his example? Let me remind you that all the Qur'an says on the subject of the possibility of adoption here is given in Surah 33, verse number 5. It says, when you adopt children, give them their real parents' name. There is a lot of wisdom in it. If they are deceived, if the fact is hidden from them, the secret will break out when they grow up a little, and it would be a shock of the lifetime for them. So it is better to let them know from a very early age who their biological parents are or were. There is no other restriction. Surah Baqarah verse 222 tells us to treat them like family members. I also touched upon inheritance. It's a common misinformation among Muslims that adopted children cannot receive inheritance. Wrong again. Just look at Surah Baqarah, verse number 180. Do not listen to me. I am no authority, and so no faqih, no imam is an authority. The only authority is the Book of Allah. That verse tells us that it's a duty upon every human being to make a will, and this will is open. He or she can assign the property to anyone within the family or outside the family in whatever amount he or she likes. But what our mullahs do, they either conceal this verse or they simply jump to 4, 11 and 12. Surah 4 verses 11 and 12 and say, well, 2180 has been cancelled by 4, 11 and 12. Sorry, no verse of the Qur'an has been cancelled. The Qur'an is forever, and it's an outrageous statement. 4, 11 and 12, they tell us the shares for this much for him, this much for her, but the same verses make it very clear that these shares are from the leftover. The deceased or the will maker might have forgotten some part of his property to include in his will. So those shares will belong to that part of the property which has been left over. खुद बदलते नहीं कुरान को बदल देते हैं हुए किस दर्जा फकीहान हरम बेतौफीक. They don't change themselves, but they change the Quran. That is the status of our fuqaha or jurists, according to Allama Iqbal. Unfortunately, there is a hadith in Bukhari obviously fabricated, where Hazrat Aisha is telling that when the exalted Prophet died, there was chaos and grief at home, and a goat came and she ate the date palm leaf on which some verses were written, and one of them was the verse of Ridaat or suckling. I am coming to the point where they make mahram or ghair mahram, family member or stranger, about the adopted children. Our jurisprudence is really a joke. It's so complex and silly that it makes you laugh and weep at the same time. What a big issue they make of the little child growing up, and then they say that our jurist, it's a fatwa from them, even from Jamiat al-Azhar. When was the last one? It was 19th September 2007. They say that if a strange man outside the family, completely unknown, he suckles on 10 different occasions on the household women, let them be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, suckles on different occasions 10 times, he will be treated as a family member, and he will be able and allowed to intrude into the privacy of the home and the privacy of the women. Dr. Atiya or Jamia al-Azhar went as far as saying that if we disallow this, we will be disobeying the exalted Prophet, because in his lifetime this practice used to happen. Okay, it's nowhere found in the Qur'an, and the hadith is silly. Goat eating, 2 verses, and no one remembered those verses, by the way. Is it possible? There were thousands and thousands of Sahaba Kiram who knew the Qur'an by heart. Okay. Maulana Sayyid Abul Ala Maududi, the criminal of Islam, I call him the Mullah-in-Chief of the 20th century. Look at his Urdu Tafsir Tafhim al-Qur'an, Volume 1, page 336. He strongly condones, approves of this practice. I would like to ask such mullahs, such so-called scholars, would they allow this to happen in their family? Would they allow their wives, their sisters, their daughters to suckle a stranger 10 times, what to talk of 10 times, even once, on their breasts? In 1972, I saw this happen. A 30-year-old man was suckling on a 19-year-old girl in Egypt. I was there because, according to the Egyptian law, every time that suckling takes place, a physician has to certify and sign the due papers. There is much more to say, but we don't have enough time, so I would thank you for listening, and kindly remember that the only authority for us is the Book of Allah. No human being, no saint, no faqih, no jurist, no imam, nothing. May Allah bless you all.